Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you all are doing well. Today, this video, we're talking about shoulder training. So today we're going to be talking about three major mistakes I see for all three different heads of the shoulders. Right, so we're going to talk about front delt, side delts, and rear delts. Jumping straight in with the front delts, the main issue that I see for people is with the machine shoulder press. People tend to do well on the regular shoulder press, the dumbbell variant, but whenever people are on the machines, they start to have a few mistakes that need to be corrected if they want to be using the machine effectively. So the first major mistake people do is going way too heavy. They think, okay, I'm on a machine, I can go as heavy as I want, still load on 3, 4, 5 plates. If it's a plate loaded or if it's a pin loaded, they'll be doing almost the full stack or the full stack, and it'll be the worst form half reps you've ever seen in the world. So the first little tip is lower the weight. The second major mistake that I see is this weird sort of backwards bird form. I don't know how to call it. Your elbows chicken wing out. That is not what you need to be doing. Right? Your elbows should stay in front of you throughout the whole movement. They shouldn't be tracking behind you at the bottom. I think this problem stems from the way the machines move, how they sort of moving in an arcing fashion, right? So at the bottom, your body sort of wants to follow the path of the machine, which it's trying to go backwards. So your elbows come backwards too. Okay, your shoulders should never drift behind you, right? So if they're behind you at the bottom, you need to bring them forward, and that'll correct a lot of issues. That'll get way more tension placed onto the front delt. Once you've corrected that, though, you also need to know how to have proper tempo. Because it's not a free weight, so many people will just jump in and they'll just start jerking their arms around, up and down, forgetting about the negative completely, and that's not what we're trying to do. So make sure you have a slow, controlled tempo, relatively explosive on the concentric, and then controlling the muscle on the eccentric, which is the negative part. Concentric is up, eccentric is coming back down. So if you want a full list of the corrections, if you have to be someone who's making all of these mistakes, make sure you're lowering your weight to get a full proper contraction throughout a full range of motion. Do full reps, right? That sort of goes in hand with doing lower weight, and make sure your elbows are in front of you. Okay, don't let them track behind you. Another key cue is just making sure your shoulders are in a proper position, retracted and down in the same way that you'd be doing a bench press, for example. Okay, so moving on to the side delts, the main movement most people do for their side delts is the dumbbell lateral raise. That's a very good movement, and it's funny because in the last one, the dumbbell shoulder press sort of forces you to have proper form. In this case, the machines are what force you to have proper form, so people will mess up the dumbbell lateral raise. Okay, so again, the main mistake people make here is going too heavy. That's normally the root of most of their problems. For some reason, I see this sort of weird bird. I want to call it bird form. It looks like they're trying to fly away. Looks like they're a baby bird learning how to fly. Okay, that's not what we're trying to do here. So a few little corrections from having that form to actual proper form is picking a weight that you can hold at a peak contraction. So if you cannot hold the weight you're doing with level arms, it's too heavy. You don't have enough control of the weight, you need to drop back. Even if that means doing 10 pounds when you used to do 30. The second major cue is keeping a slight bend in your arms, not a 90-degree bend like I see a lot of people doing, and not a completely straight arm. A slight bend, and then pushing your elbows to the sky, not your hands. A lot of people push the thumbs to the sky. No. A cue I got from a Jeff Nippard video. He's a really useful YouTuber. You guys should check him out. Jeff Nippard. He always says to cue your pinkies up. As long as that doesn't give you any problems with shoulder pain, that'll sort of help your mind grasp where your rear delts or your side delts are, and help you target them like you'd ever have before. Whether you're sitting or whether you're standing, make sure you're leaning over when you're doing a lateral raise. So many people stand straight up and down. Your side delt fibers don't run that way. They run, if you're looking at yourself from the side, right? They run towards the front of your body slightly. That means for them to be working effectively against gravity in a free weight scenario, you need to be leaning over. So there's a slight alteration you can do to a regular dumbbell lateral raise. It's where you lean into a bench on quite a steep incline. So moving the bench 1 or 2 pegs away from completely vertical will help your body stay in the proper position and minimize any momentum you may be using, and that'll help you target your side delts with maximum effectiveness. The next mistake I see time and time again is on the reverse pec deck. I think one of the main reasons behind this, seeing all these mistakes on the reverse pec deck, is because so many people do it. Most people for their rear delts, all they know how to do is just go on the reverse pec deck and swing their arms back and forth. When there are many, many, many alternatives that could be better depending on the person, but there are many alternatives that you should try, right? So either, look at more recent videos by me. I currently don't have any up, but if you're watching this sort of in 2020, mid to late 2024 or onwards, I very well will have videos about rear delts. You can look into people like Jeff Nippard or even Mike Van Wyck. They're all really good trainers, all really good at giving proper cues to target your rear delts. So there are plenty of different variations you can do on cables or even with dumbbells that aren't the reverse pec deck. So time and time again we see this, but the big mistake people make is going too heavy. When you're going way too heavy, your body will take tension off your rear delts and start putting it onto your back. So you basically are just doing a row with really weird form. It sort of mirrors the bird form that I see on the lateral raise, where people's arms are all cocked and weird, where they're almost using their side delts to do a rear delt fly. It's weird. So if you notice yourself doing that, or if you see yourself doing that in the mirror, a few cues to correct that are set the handles, set the seat so that when you're reaching out and far in front of you as you can, your arms are level with the ground, right? They're not pointing up to the sky, they're not pointing down. Once you have that, keep reaching throughout the whole range of motion. Reach out as far as you can, try and touch the walls around you. That cue is from Dr. Mike Israetel. He's very, very good, very, very useful if you guys need tips on any sort of movement whatsoever. The major trend from this video, I'm sure we can all gather, is that people go way too heavy. This is not just something that's unique to shoulders. Everyone goes way too heavy on basically every movement. If everyone just went a little bit lighter and made these few simple changes, I am sure everyone would blow up their shoulders and they'd be barely fitting through door frames, all right? For my shoulder day, just to sort of round out this video, I focus on my side delts mainly. So 6 to 9, maybe even 10 sets for my side delts, whereas I'll do 2, 3, or 4 for my front and rear. And that's just because in your back days and your chest days, where you're pressing and pulling, your rear and front delts will be working and getting plenty of stimulation from that. So there's not a major need to stimulate them further on a dedicated shoulder training session. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, I'd be very grateful if you liked. If you want to keep seeing more content like this, please subscribe. And if you didn't like it, feel free to dislike. Next video is legs. Stay tuned for that. See you guys.